Hey y'all, here to talk about something that's lesser known in astrology. It's a really niche subject called Mercury retrograde. I'm here to explain it, explain what this one in particular means in Cancer, and understand what the strategies are for you to live your best life through it. So, all joking aside, yes, Mercury is retrograde again. Happens every 3 to 4 months. Right now, it's happening in tandem with 4 other planets in retrograde. So we have been experiencing quite a bit of back channeling through the planets, and it's been an intense reflective period for many of us, and it's only going to get more intense with this Mercury on top. So if you're wondering why there are so many in retrograde right now, it happens, and it doesn't always happen like this, but 2020 is a crazy year for many reasons, and specifically in astrology, we've been gearing up for this in the astrology world. So instead of focusing too much on the other planets in retrograde, I want to give you some strategies for Mercury. And I want to talk about Mercury and Cancer. So, Cancer is signified by the Chariot, Mercury is signified by the Magician. And if you think about them together, they, on their upright, are an intense manifestation vehicle for getting you where you need to go. If you think about what crabs do really well is they house their home on their back, and they're able to move wherever they need to go, create the security that they need in order to live best, and they're extremely resourceful. But when in retrograde, it means that there are some blockages when it comes to speaking, the throat chakra, manifestation, that's the Mercury side of it. And in the Cancerian reversal of the Chariot, it means that our vehicle is not working in the way that we'd like it to work. And it means that we might be experiencing some delays in the transformation of what we're hoping to experience. I can't help but think about what crabs do, which is shedding their skin literally to grow a new one that will fit their bodies. And if we think about that metaphorically, shedding an old layer that does not suit us anymore and growing a new one that is right for the bigger selves that we've become, in smarter, in more cultured, more aware. It's a really beautiful way to think about this time. And so if you think about it as a necessary process, it'll help you get one step closer and through it a lot easier. So in this time, think about how vulnerable you must be when you wear your insides on your outsides and you don't have the protective covering. It means that you might feel vulnerable, defensive, overly sensitive. You might snap to attention before really thinking about it because your defenses that you're really used to are no longer there. And I know as many of us are going through a really sensitive time and an intense time of potentially unlearning, learning the best way to go about situations, just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Whatever your experience is, you are experiencing this in one way or another, because the great equalizer is astrology, and that the planets really affect all of us, no matter what our personal experience is. So in that way, we're all growing together, and I'm really hopeful about that, but everybody's going to be processing this differently. So don't only be kind to your fellow humans, make sure to be kind to yourself as well, because we're all really going through something here, at whatever the level of intensity is. So some strategies for getting yourself through it is waiting to speak if you feel the defensive creep up, if you feel like you're being a little sensy. Maybe take a beat and listen instead of speaking at that time. If your words are getting jumbled up, it might just be time to take a beat and take a break and take a pen to paper or something like that if that's a little bit easier for you. We often talk about Mercury retrograde affecting contracts and technology and things like that. So if you are needing to sign a contract, just make sure the language is really, really clear, that you're baking in some security for yourself. Crabs would do that, so make sure you would do that for yourself. Anything relating to personal finances, things like that, just read things over many, many times in this time, because you're apt to overlook something or not bake in some security measure that you might need. And from a technological perspective, you want to be careful with your electronics. They are going to be fritzy. I have had numerous issues with my internet and Zoom already today, so just buck up for that. And if you're taking a bath or putting yourself in nature near the water to heal, which is a great idea, specifically when Mercury's in retrograde in a water sign, don't take your phone. We've learned this time and time again, whether you drop it in a puddle or a lake or the beach, it's like always going to be a disaster. So just be very, very careful with your electronics during this time and be smart. Also, the bathtub, don't bring it into the bathtub either. That's not smart. So there's so many different things going on right now with all of these retrogrades, and Mercury is the straw that could potentially break the crab's back, but I know that you'll get through it a lot stronger, a lot better after this. You're going to grow so much. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to help. Otherwise, good luck, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.